The men and women of the Columbus Division of Fire, they're known for putting their lives on the line on a daily basis. Few realize, though, that for them, the danger starts not at the scene of an accident or a fire. It starts the moment they roll out of the garage. This is Station 1.
Vehicle accident.
One of the busiest stations in the city. Medics and engines are leaving all the time. For 2 days, we got exclusive behind-the-scenes access and documented some of the most dangerous obstacles they face. Drivers like you and me.
I've had some very close calls.
Day 1, we rode with Captain Timothy Moore, a 20-year veteran of the division.
Hold on.
Our first call, a car accident near Cosi.
Auto accident at West Broad and Bell Street.
He turns on the lights and siren. By state law, drivers are supposed to yield, pull over to the right side of the road, and stop until the vehicle is passed. While many do just that, some, however, freeze, a common mistake leaving Moore to weave around them. Moments later, we approach a busy intersection. Moore inches forward. It's a good thing. Had we gone any faster, we would have been T-boned. Around the corner, 2 cars are turning left. One goes right. Where the second one will go is anyone's guess.
These are the cars that are turning left. You just never know where they're going to go.
Within minutes, we arrive at the accident. No one is seriously hurt.
On the run itself, driving here, it's about typical.
Captain Moore says the division averages about 1 to 2 accidents a week. Think that's a lot? Think about this. He says they average about 350 runs a day. That's nearly 2,500 runs a week. 22-year veteran Captain Richard Richardson has had his own close calls.
I've been fortunate not to be in any major accidents since I've been on the fire department, but yeah, just actually one of them was right down here. Somebody came up and hit us in the back.
We spent the late afternoon with Richardson. Our first stop, a staging area for a possible SWAT situation.
Medic 16, EMS 11. I'm going to be staging northbound at 17th and Hamilton.
This time we have a camera on top of his SUV to give us a different perspective. We're eventually canceled from the call. So far, driving has been smooth sailing. It's a different story later that night when we're called to an emergency. A man has been hit by a car on the west side.
Brown Road and Starling Avenue. Pedestrian struck.
On the way, you can see this driver does nothing to get out of our way. Fortunately, Richardson has space to work. It isn't always that way. He faces another issue when we drive up to an intersection. His lights and alarm are sounding, however, some drivers continue on.
Here's one here, see this guy.
When we arrive, we find the man lying in a ditch.
Mount Carmel, this is Columbus Medic, or Medic 193.
He's taken in stable condition to Mount Carmel West. This was just day 1.
I think a lot of, it can be the most dangerous part of the job is driving to the scene.
Day 2, we're now with Lieutenant Brian Barnhart. He's been with the division for a decade.
I would say every single day when you get in the vehicle, especially when it's on a busy truck, you're going to have close calls.
Our first run is for a car accident.
Yeah, I'll respond 71 and Frank Road.
Fresh out of the gates, a close call.
Here's the hardest spot on this run right here. We got about 5 lanes we got to cross. We start with the first one and work our way. There's one car go through. We got the first lane, second lane, third lane, fourth, all clear.
After going through a number of red lights,
these blind intersections are the ones.
We're canceled from the run, even considering the one very close call.
Yeah, that was a pretty smooth run right there.
All 3 men say they don't believe people are intentionally breaking the law when they don't get out of the way. They believe it's a matter of drivers not being aware of their surroundings and being distracted by things such as cell phones. It's not that laws don't exist right now to keep emergency crews safe. They do. In addition to state law requiring drivers yield and pull over to emergency vehicles with flashing lights, there's also the state's Move Over law that went into effect in 2004. That says drivers who approach an emergency vehicle with its lights on must move over a lane or slow down. Many communities are also adopting texting bans.
What you have to remember too is that they don't always hear you. Summertime, you have the air conditioning running, you have the stereo going.
Chances are you're going to see a fire engine or medic in your rearview mirror before you actually hear it, and here's why. Say this fire engine is going 30 miles an hour with sirens blaring. Well, from the point I hear those sirens until the actual fire engine gets to me, only 4 seconds have passed. If it's going 60 miles an hour, just 2 seconds have passed. Bottom line, don't just use your ears, Also use your eyes.
This guy doesn't know we're coming. He saw us there.
Doesn't even get over.
They didn't even know we were there until we were right next to him.
The fact is, each time they have to slow down or stop for those who won't stop themselves, that's time taken away from the emergency they've been called to.
But you know, with a heart attack, they say time is muscle. And if it was your dad or your mom having a heart attack, you would want us there as fast as possible. And a lot of people just don't understand that.
In Columbus, Tom Brockman, NBC4.